pull, 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 pull. So, this is the AYA I've got. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about, we talked about the comb height and the stock length. Traditionally, most people, you see them, and how they measure how that stock is right length, they go like that. Now, watch. Doesn't matter what gun I use, that gun will always still be the same. So they'll come just to there, because that's what you want to pull the trigger with, is the tip of your, the puffy bit of your finger there. And they're all the same. Amazing that, isn't it? And the reason why that is everyone thinks that that length there is the length that your stock should be. That doesn't make any difference, because I can make this gun too short or too long for you. This gun as it is actually a little bit too short for me personally, but I can make it too long or too short, because the whole idea is your head should be 3 fingers away from the comb. So your head, if I mount it properly, that gun is actually too short for me, because I'm almost picking my nose. If I do that, stand more square, it's actually 3 fingers away from the comb. So standing correctly, that gun is actually too short for me. And this is where the part of the experience of going to a shooting school to buying a gun and to getting that gun fitted to you, and buying a gun, then getting a gun fitted to you isn't right. You've got to get that gun fitted to you as you buy it at that shooting school. So, most over and unders, especially Brownings and Berettas and Marukus, will come with 14.25 inch stock, 14.75 inch stock, which is about right for me. I actually like it a little bit longer, but that's my personal preference. But that's about right, because my head's 3 fingers away. The Fausty actually comes with a 15-inch stock, which I actually like having a 15-inch stock. So my trap gun is a 15-inch stock. So if I put my head there, it's 3 fingers away from the comb. So that is what you want to be looking for, is for you, when you push that gun away and you touch that cheek, for it to be comfortable there. You don't want to look at that, because if I do that, it makes me roll my head. You don't want to look at that. You want to be comfortable there. And that is really how to get that stock dimension. Height-wise, again, as I was saying, it's got to be high in the comb. Some people do give the old story, bear with me a second. Some people actually, they put a bit of grass in there, like your back sight, like that, and they say, mount your gun and look at the top of that grass, and it makes me know whether my head is over the top of that rib. Which is right, it's a great traditional way of doing it, but if you've got an experienced shooting instructor or coach, he will actually do it without the grass. But that grass is actually quite a traditional way of doing it. So you can actually find out, and it keeps your head up there. Same way as when you've got a high whib trap gun. If you've got a high whib trap gun, the whole idea of a high whib, they were invented for double trap. Double trap is what high whibs were for. I know now loads of people who won the Olympic Games with a high whib, and if you look at 2012, all high whibs. Because you win the Olympic Games, a lot of sporting shooters and people like that like to use high whibs, because they like to say, I'm using what Pete Wilson used, or I'm using what Hulk and Darby used. But really, a high whib was designed for shooting double trap. And they come in and out of fashion. And the whole idea is to keep your head up, so your eye comes up there over the top of that rib. And that's the whole idea of a high whib. So the grass is basically doing the same thing as a high whib. And it basically, when you mount that gun, what you're trying to do is take the strength off your neck muscles there. So when you mount it, it's going like that. So that's really the difference in the ribs and the difference in where your eye and is down that rib. And that's why that is the most important. Get that right, and you'll pretty much shoot with anything, whether it's a Baker or whether it's a Beretta or whether it's a Browning or a Fausti. If that comb height is right, it will fit you. So, a couple more with this. Pull. Pull. See? You can even shoot a 50-yard target crosser with the side by side. So they can do just as good a job as an over and under if the fit is correctly and if that stance is correct.